Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha if you're brand new here, and today I thought I would share with you a second look using the new Revolution Foil Frenzy palette. Now in yesterday's look I shared with you this shade. It was on the outer part of the lid, and then I used this beautiful pink and I was blown away by that beautiful colour. It really, I don't know, it was just something different. It is pink, but it is just such a beautiful ethereal pink colour, and I love shades like that. And it lasted on my lid all day, apart from where the crease rubs, because I always have that. So I thought what I would do with you today, or do for you, is actually share another look using perhaps the more earthy tones in the palette, because I know that you wanted to see more shades worn. So I thought that's what I would do for you today. Also, I want to address a few questions that I received from you yesterday regarding the formula. Was it the same as in the Revolution Jewel Collection palette? The one that I'm obsessed with is Gilded, and this is what they looked like. They all had this kind of shimmery palette lid, but this one is the palette that I'm obsessed with. Now in these palettes they had a mixture of formulas in the smaller pans, but the larger pans were something totally different. They felt different and they certainly performed fantastically on the eye. I loved these shades, particularly this shade here. So that's what I'm going to do for you first. I think I'm going to swatch a couple of shades from each palette, and you know, I'll then be able to tell you what I think about the formula. Is it the same? Because I know that these are absolutely standout palettes, particularly though that top row. So that's what I'm going to do for you first, and then we'll get into the eye look. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll swatch a couple from this palette first. I'm going to definitely do that gold. That is absolutely beautiful. It's a yellow, stunning gold, and wow, does that swatch beautifully. These actually all swatched beautifully in yesterday's video, and I'll link that down below. That video has swatches, a little bit more of a tour around the palette and all of that first impression information. This one is purely to address some questions that you asked me yesterday, and of course share some more shades. What other colour shall I go for? I think I'll go for that green, because I know that you are obsessed with that as well. Wow. Now they certainly feel soft, they feel absolutely beautiful, and they do feel slightly different to other shimmers, especially when you swatch them and you apply them on the eye. They feel so soft, and I'm going to now go into this palette. I'm definitely going into my favourite shade, which is called Fetch. And yes, when I even swatch them, I can feel that they are similar. Definitely, they are soft. You certainly don't need to, you know, dig your finger or your brush in. They have that light formula, and they feel very much like, I suppose, cream to powder, that kind of softness. So let's swatch this one, and you can see that they definitely swatch very, very similar. There's no, you know, you don't have to drag your finger on your arm, and it was the same when I applied it. There's no effort needed with these. So let me do the second. I think I'm going into, what one? I think I'm going to go into Mesmeric. There we go. And that one just could go on and on and on. So in my opinion, I would say that the formula certainly feels, let me turn it the other way, we've got too much mirror there, certainly feels the same and swatches the same in both palettes, so those larger pans and then in here as well from the Foil Frenzy. They just feel the same, and I'm so pleased. I did mention in the video when I was sharing with you one of these palettes that I would love a whole palette dedicated to that top row, and I think that that is what you know, Revolution has done, because that formula is outstanding. Okay, so I'll just show you the swatches again. Beautiful, gorgeous, and you can see, I'll do it close up for you, you can see how smoothly they have swatched as well. Very smooth on the arm. Like I say, it's like a cream to powder, and they feel so soft, just absolutely stunning. So I hope that that addresses all of your questions regarding both of those palettes. Yes, in my opinion, they do feel and perform the same. So now let's get into the look. I don't know whether to use the mattes from the Gilded collection. I have actually got another palette here, the Imogenation eyeshadow palette, because I really love the neutrals in here. They are gorgeous standout shades. So yeah, I think I might stick with Imagination's palette, and then obviously use the shimmers from the Foil Frenzy palette even. Okay, I'm going to go in with OKKKKK, and of course I'm using the Eye and Crease contour brush number 251. Now I'm going to get as close as I can, because I know that one of you mentioned yesterday that you wanted to see it more close up, so I can't get as close up as this is as close up as I can, because I need to see into the mirror as well. So I hope that you can see what I'm doing here. So with that brush, and this is a perfect size brush for me to, you know, just get into that area basically, and that is a perfect base colour for me. Obviously within that palette you have a number of neutrals that you can kickstart your look off with. I'm going to just apply a little bit more, and I might need to deepen that up a little bit. So that's the first shade applied. I'm now swapping over to my eye contour brush. I don't know why I was looking for a name. And I'm going into Sorry Not Sorry, which is the bottom shade. Sorry about the noise. I usually balance the palette on my knee, but of course I'm literally near enough on the table, so I can't get any closer. So my palette is to the right of me. Okay, so tip down. And I'm just going to deepen up that crease. I might need to go into the other palette, we'll see. Okay, so just going from side to side and just keep blending until you're happy with that. I also tend to not go too high in this area here. I don't know why, it just doesn't suit my eye shape, but of course, you know, different eye shapes, different techniques. Okay, now into the other side. So I tend to go quite deep there and then just blend it out, because like I said, I don't want it too high in that area. The transitional shade, the first shade, I'm fine with, but any depth, I just don't like it on me. So building up now the depth. Like that. Now I'm also going into OKKK and just putting that underneath there. I always put the lighter shade down. It just gives me a base to work from, I suppose, and primes the eye. like that, going into the Sorry Not Sorry shade. Again, just going on top of that, and because I've put a lighter shade down first, it tends to blend a little bit better because I have got concealer obviously underneath there, and I've set that as well, but I tend to find that the lighter shade, apply that first and it just gives me a beautiful blend underneath. There we go. So far so good. I think actually, because I forget that we've got these other smaller shades, so I think I'm going to go into, I might actually try a little bit of Shoppy, which is this one here. It's like a khaki brown. I'm going to try that one first. I was so excited to try the palette yesterday. I just rushed those mattes. I just was so quick to apply them yesterday. Now what I'm doing at the moment is, because sometimes I will stamp the colour through depending on the shade, I'm using the tip of the brush and just swirling that through to give again a little bit of a blend. Because it's a mid-tone brown again, you know, it doesn't matter if it goes up a little bit higher. So again, I'm doing that on this side. So apply the tip into the crease and then just swirl that through. Again, I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I can't get any closer, I'm afraid. I'm also going to put a little bit of Shoppy underneath. I must admit, I forgot all about that shade Shoppy. It is so beautiful and it works so beautifully with these, you know, like the colour of the top that I'm wearing. So that's the blend so far. Actually, I really love that. I'm now going into the shade Imagine, which is underneath Shoppy. Obviously, this bit is a little bit more time consuming because obviously it is matte and I want it to be, I suppose, a beautiful blend for the lid shade. So obviously, and I'm taking my time a little bit more today. Now, as you can see, rather than swirling it through, I'm now stamping it through because I want the depth, but I want the depth in the crease rather than, you know, all over. So again, I'm still using the tip of the brush. Just stamping that all the way through. Like that. So you've now got the depth, but you haven't got it all over the lid. And I'm going in with Imagine again, and I'm just going to pop it on the first third there. So we are mirroring. I don't know why I can't say that. I had trouble with it last time, but we are duplicating the same there. Okay, so that is the mattes applied. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Cut Crease Canvas. I haven't actually used this in a while, in a week or so, so I'm really hoping that I don't mess it up. But I thought that what I'll do is, because I've got quite small lids, this product actually helps to give me a larger lid and more room to add shimmer, which is obviously what we want to do. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. So if you, like me, have smaller lids, this product is amazing because it gives you that larger lid space. So let's go in with this. So I'm going to, now it looks like the bristles are a little bit upturned, so I hope that I don't get it everywhere. So it's given me that line again. I'm going to take it quite far, not all the way along, but I'm going to take it quite far into the actual, like, I suppose 2/3 of the lid, you can see there. I'm also going to see if I can get in right in here, which is why this brush is so perfect, because it's like that. So it's very thin but very flat. So that is the Cut Crease Canvas, and the shade that I use is Illustrate, and that works perfectly on me. So we'll leave that alone to set. A little bit more product, a little bit more, not too much. And then we will do exactly the same. So if you've got hooded lids like me, then what I do is, you saw, I'll just explain it again. So I line, have I got enough product on, or have I taken off too much? So I just line this part here, and then look up, and that then gives you that line that you want. And it's certainly higher than you know where I usually put the eyeshadow. And with this product, my eyeshadow will last all day, because what it does, it adheres the eyeshadow to your lid. So again, if you've got my kind of eye shape, where your eyes rub a little bit, then this will help keep that eyeshadow on. Just going to add a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, so that one is drying. I'm just going to go in with my brush, because I had a little bit of a splayed bristle, and it has caused the product then to go onto my lid, or higher than where I wanted it to go. But that is exactly you know, perfect for what I want. So what I'm also going to do is just get my Revolution, the Gilded palette, and I'm going into So What. In fact, actually no, I'm going to look into the Imogenation, because I'm sure there's a cream in here as well. Is there a cream? No, I was right the first time. So I'm going to go into So What, which is just a cream matte colour, just for the purpose of this video, because I just haven't got time to wait for this to dry down. This is what I've done with the other videos, and it worked perfectly. So I'm just setting it slightly. I don't want to take away all of the tackiness, but I just want a little bit. So I've got a little bit of less tackiness to work with, if you see what I mean. Okay, because what I don't want to do is for it to be so tacky that when you apply the eyeshadow, you know, you're rubbing off the product as well. Okay, so we've now got the beautiful Foil Frenzy palette. Ooh, I mean, again, it's going to be difficult for me to think, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to do this one first. So this is the bottom first row. Obviously I've got it upside down so I don't blind you with the sheen of the lid. So I'm going in with that one first, and then I think I'm going to have to go in with that colour secondly. I know that you wanted to see the green, or should I put the green on the outside and then the yellow in the middle? I think that's what I'll do, and then you'll be able to see both colours then. What I would also say is I'm still applying it with my finger, but this time I'm going to pat it on like this. Again, it's quite tacky, the base, still quite tacky. I hope you can see that that is applying there. I might have to go in with my brush. I'm just using a flat Wilko brush, and I'm just going to go onto the edge with that, because every time I touch the edge it's smudging it, so I'm just doing that, although this eyeshadow works certainly better with a finger. Okay. So that is the green applied onto one lid. Let's apply it onto this side. Again, just getting the brush. Like that. Now before I go any further, I think what I'm going to do is just deepen up the outer third a little bit more. So going back to the Imogenation palette, going into it again, what should we do? I'll go in with Sorry Not Sorry first. Then again, just through the crease, just to neaten that up a little bit. And then I'm going into Imagine. Just stamping that, so that is that done. I'm going back to the Foil Frenzy and I'm just going to apply a little bit more of that green on there. I must admit the green hasn't come off as deep as I expected it. I expected it to be a little bit more, but it looks beautiful in the camera. Okay. Now I'm going into that yellow, and the yellow that I'm going into is that one there, right above the green, and I'm going to blend it into the green here with my finger to start with. Wow. Oh, that is just stunning. Love that. I'm going to swap to another one of the Wilko flat brushes, and again I'm going into that yellow. I need to get right in here. Now from memory from yesterday, you really have to go in a few times to get the product to actually work with a brush, because it just doesn't want to. And then I'm going to take it onto the inner corner. But it does work. You just have to basically add a little bit at a time and build it up, but definitely, again, I will say that, you know, it works better with a finger basically. Okay, so that is the eye look complete. Now what I'm going to do is apply my eyeliner. Of course, it is the Revolution HD Smoky Waterproof Liner, now sharpened. And then, of course, I'm going to apply the Mascara Revolution from Revolution. Again, mine is so gloopy at the moment. I think it's because it's after a little while of using, mascaras get a little bit gloopy, and that's what this has done. So I just have to take a little bit from the end because I'm so worried I'm going to mess this look up. And I don't want to do that. Mascara is perfection. Okay, so that is my look using again the Foil Frenzy eyeshadow palette, £8 from revolutionbeauty.com. Like I mentioned in yesterday's video, it is coming to Superdrug very, very soon. I think the end of this month. So obviously do keep looking on the website for that. Again, my thoughts are, haven't changed at all regarding this palette. I absolutely love it. The green now really stands out because I've deepened up that edge there, and I think it also stands out even more because I've applied gold. Love it. And also the Cut Crease Canvas has really given me much more of a lid to work with, and it's applied beautifully. I still stand by the fact that it works better with a finger. If you try and apply it with a brush, you can do that because you can see that it's worked on the inner corner there, but you just need to build it up a little bit, so a little bit at a time, and then you can see that that has worked beautifully. I also think that it blends absolutely beautifully with the other shades. Obviously it's blended beautifully with the shades from the Imogenation palette, but it's given a seamless blend. I absolutely love the formula. I'm still blown away by it. I am obsessed with this eye look, as obsessed with this eye look as yesterday's. I really, really love it. So obviously I can't get my words out again. I've incorporated the green with the gold. I hope that I got close up enough to the camera for you to see exactly what I was doing. I can't get any more close up to it. I'm nearly sitting on the table as it is. Also, your questions were answered in regards to the Jaelle collection. Yes, I do think that this is the same formula. Obviously, I'm not going to go into ingredients and all things like that because that's just not what I'm about, but I've gone with my how it feels, and to me it felt very, very much the same, and also swatched beautifully. That is from the Jaelle collection. These two are from the Jaelle collection. This is from the Foil Frenzy. But you can see they're both smooth. I just love it. I love the eyeshadows from the Gilded eyeshadow collection palette, sorry. But these are just outstanding. And not only that, I've got much more to play with. I still love this shade. I can't wait now to share more shadows and eyeshadow looks. No, let me just rephrase that. I can't wait now to apply more of those shadows onto my eye and share more eye looks. But I've got more things to share with you over the next few days. So I probably won't be oh my goodness, I can't talk. I probably won't be revisiting now that now. Oh my goodness. For a little while. I'm thinking about my eye look. Oh my goodness, I couldn't speak yesterday. But yeah, I still stand by everything that I said yesterday. I'm obsessed with the palette. I love it. It's gorgeous. The only thing that I would say that is perhaps, you know, seen as a little bit of a negative, but not that much, is you just have to be very careful with these shadows. These are not like regular eyeshadows. They feel very smooth and very, not delicate as such, but you just don't need to dig your finger or your brush in. So, you know, you just don't need to do that. And like I say, they feel like a cream to powder formula, just like with the Gilded palette or the Jaelle collection eyeshadows, the top rows. So like I say, I hope that's answered all of your questions. I hope that you've really enjoyed this eye look. I must admit, it looks beautiful. I am so pleased. I really wanted to use the cut to crease canvas and not make any mistakes. And for the first time using that, I've got none on my lashes. I have perfected the product. Hooray! So obviously all of your all of your comments are most welcome regarding to the Fall Frenzy palette, obviously, you know, regarding the formulas from each of those palettes. In fact, anything that I've used today, I would love your thoughts on. Also, the lipstick that I'm wearing, I will have that down below because, again, it is too... I'll just mention it now I'm talking about it. I'm using the Revolution Pro Supreme Matte Lip Pigment. I applied Illusion first, and then I applied Facade in the middle. I must do a video actually on all of the duos that I've used because these are outstanding to create that beautiful ombre look, in fact more of a subtle ombre. So if you'd like to see that, obviously let me know down below. Of course, if you have just stumbled across my channel, I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to watch further videos. I know that I've talked a little bit in this video, and I've tried also to go in depth with the eye look if you are watching that closely, which you seem to be doing because obviously you want me to get closer to the actual camera. So I hope that I have answered everything for you today. As always, I try and go in as in depth as I possibly can. So yeah, I hope that's helped with all of those, and of course I will be seeing you same place, similar time tomorrow. And of course, thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, thank you. Bye.